I will not talk down to you today on the assumption that you, the audience, so lack intellectual depth that you are incapable of exercising the mental effort required to integrate knowledge of a higher order. Nor will I insult your intelligence by expecting you to accept anything that I, Mike Mentzer, have to say merely because I won a handful of bodybuilding contests. So what? Big deal. We have scores of bodybuilders who have won more contests than I have, and they couldn't even spell or define the word exercise science. It is only on the basis of grasping the logic of an argument that one should agree as to whether or not it's true. Nor will I bore you with the type of intellectual pablum or baby food you've read so often in some of the muscle magazines. Just in case you hadn't noticed, the vast majority of articles written on the subject of training consist of little more than a series of arbitrary, biblical-like commandments. Thou shalt perform 4 sets of this exercise, and thou shalt perform 5 sets of that one. Why? Never any reason. Blank out. No logic, no explanation. You see, audience, the realm of the intellect, the human mind, which again is the central focus of today's thought, is much more demanding than the average bodybuilder the bodybuilding writer realizes or recognizes. And that formulating a valid, non-contradictory theory of training requires knowledge not just of human physiology, but man's method of gaining knowledge, again, logic. A mere passionate discharge of the arbitrary contents of one's subconscious onto a piece of paper is just that, intellectual vomit. As a man of reason, I act only on the basis, or I seek to act only on the basis of understanding the reasons for doing something at all, which is the way all human beings should proceed. And that once again is what this seminar is about. I'm not here just to give you another training program and expect you to blindly follow it. Would that be worth the $40 and the time you expended to come here today? This seminar is about a reasoned, principled, logical approach to the subject of productive bodybuilding exercise. One that can be understood by anyone, everyone willing to exercise the required mental effort. I presume, after all, that you came to Mississauga today because of your enthusiastic desire to achieve your muscular potential, maybe for personal reasons, to be Mr. Ontario, the Canadian champion. There might even be those in here who aspire to be Mr. Olympia. And, most important, that you, the audience, already understands that the basis of a rational, logical approach to bodybuilding or any other arena of human endeavor is the recognition that only the specific appropriate knowledge can lead you to engage in the purposeful action required to successfully achieve a goal. In fact, that's my favorite statement in the whole seminar. I'm going to repeat it. The basis of a rational, intelligent, logical approach to exercise or any other arena of human endeavor is the recognition that only the specific, appropriate knowledge can lead you to engage in the appropriate action required to achieve a goal. We all kind of sort of know that on some level of awareness, but if you don't explicitly state it periodically, it kind of loses impact in your own thinking. You're here to gain specific knowledge. No, the material in today's seminar is not infinitely complex, but it's not intellectual pabulum either. I am asking you, cast aside all your other concerns for the next few hours, get intense mentally, focus on the logic of my ideas, and once and for all, clear up any and all confusion. That won't be a problem for you since you're already unconfused, and that's fine. I'm not laughing at you. It's no fun being confused, is it? Or uncertain. Then, audience, you will be able to proceed with the greatest power possible to a human being, the power of certainty. One of my favorite words, intellectual certainty. Not muscular power, but the power of certainty, which can only be gained when you truly grasp, fully recognize the power of ideas, the realm of the intellect. There does exist a viable intellectual discipline, exercise science. In the next section, remember, this is merely introductory, I will explain the logically interdependent hierarchy of ideas that makes up the context of bodybuilding science, again, so that you, the audience, will leave here not with just one more exercise program, but the ability to think more clearly, logically about the subject, and go on to confidently and successfully achieve your bodybuilding goals and all of your goals. In fact, while learning to think logically about bodybuilding, you'll learn something about the nature of thought itself, which you can then extend to other areas of life and lead a more rewarding and more fulfilling life overall. Before concluding this introductory section, audience, I'd like to address one important point that will serve, in fact, as a direct prelude to the next part of the talk. And it has to do with the near universal confusion that exists with regard to the fact that there can only be one valid theory of proper, productive bodybuilding exercise, or any other subject for that matter. This subject is essentially responsible for most of the failures in bodybuilding, and I can tell you unequivocally, without any slightest doubt or uncertainty, more bodybuilders fail to achieve their goals than succeed. Most bodybuilders, probably most of you in here like I did at one time, I'm not putting you down, wherever you're at with your thinking, most of you, I was there at one time too, but I'm a little bit older than most of you and I've had more experience. I've learned a lot in the last 20 years. Most bodybuilders make the mistake of approaching the subject of bodybuilding training with the idea that all theories have some merit or are of equal value. Then they waste precious time frantically looking into all these different theories, hoping that somehow, someday, some way, they'll find one that works. And as a result, literally, I'm not exaggerating here for effect, I talk to bodybuilders every day from all over the world, literally every day, all day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and I do a lot of seminars. The most salient characteristic of the vast majority of bodybuilders I meet is that they are confused, and the confusion results in their not achieving their goals. Most bodybuilders literally fail to achieve their goals, which is why they're perpetually asking questions of anybody and everybody they can. They come to seminars all the time. You know what I'm talking about. Again, how many bodybuilders do you know who are not impotently bewildered, disconcertingly confused? At least 99%. In fact, it could not possibly be true that all, or many, or even two training theories are of equal merit. You have to keep in mind here what a theory is. A theory is a set of abstract principles which purports to be either a correct description of some aspect of reality and or a guide for successful human action.